Hey gamers, it's Wayne Santos, senior editor over at Comics and Gaming Magazine, and as you can tell, it's E3. It's the last day. It literally ended like just a few minutes ago. People are pouring out now, and I'm giving my typically unenthused and completely unenergetic report about E3 because it's been 3 straight days of video games. A couple of hours of video games is good. Even a full day of video games is good, but 3 straight days of it is going to drain your energy, and that's exactly what it's done to me. I'm so glad it's over. But that doesn't mean that we didn't see any good stuff today. Finally got a look at Murdered Soul Suspect, a game that's being published by Square Enix. It's not produced internally. This one is actually a ghostly murder mystery. Just kind of imagine the movie Ghost, except that the guy who died was a detective trying to solve his own murder. That pretty much gives you an idea of what that game is going to be. I also got a chance to sit down and play the Elder Scrolls MMO. We actually got a good chunk of it, but it was the tutorial level. So, as you might imagine, when you're playing the beginning of an MMO and you're only level 5, there's not a whole lot that you can do. We also encountered some bugs, but then, what MMO in the early stages doesn't have bugs? It's, really a tough call to make on that. Finally got a chance to play some Vita games. We played Media Molecule's Tearaway, which, as you would expect, is it's like charming and it's like bouncy and happy and cute and energetic. So that looks like it's going to be a decent little title for the Vita. We also got to play the Vita version of Batman Arkham Origins, which it's amazing how close it actually manages to look to its console cousins. But it is a side scroller, so don't expect any big open world roaming around beating people up. There is still fighting there, it's all just on a 2D plane. Finally, we managed to sit down and play Killzone Shadowfall. Amazingly enough, the Sony guys said that to their knowledge, I was like the only Canadian who actually managed to sit down and get some time with it. So yay, go Canada, we win. Alright, so Killzone Shadowfall, it's noticeably different from the other Killzone games. For one thing, it actually feels kind of like the first Halo. Really big areas, with a lot of different activities to do. They provided you with multiple ways that you could approach your objectives. Killzone Shadowfall is at times like that. They drop you in this big open area. There were lots of things to do, like you could just assault the base, or if you wanted to, you could go searching for a secondary base, disable the security there so that no alarms would go off, and then assault the base. So lots of nice little touches like that. It's also our first chance to really sit down and mess around with the new DualShock 4 controller, and it's like, it feels different. It's a bigger, slightly wider controller, so there's more to grip along the bottom. The triggers have been changed. They feel a little more resistant, a little clickier, so I think people are going to like that. And generally, it feels more comfortable in the hands. We've lost the start and the select buttons, but everybody knew that. We've now just got share and option plus the touchpad in the middle. But all in all, I don't think that traditional hardcore PlayStation fans are going to have too many issues with the controller. We also finally managed to get a look at The Evil Within, Shinji Mikami's new horror game. As he put it, he wanted to make a return to horror without all the boring QTEs, which it's like apparently he feels kind of personally responsible for, thanks to Resident Evil 4. So this game goes back to basics. You're a cop who investigates what seems to be trouble at an insane asylum, and then all hell literally breaks loose. It's got all the classic survival horror trademarks. You've got limited ammunition, you're very, very weak, so it's like most of the time the encounters, you're not going to be able to just run and gun and feel like an all-powerful bullet god. That's not the way it works. It's like hiding is definitely an option, running away is also perfectly acceptable, and when you've got that little ammunition, you have to make sure that every shot counts when you do have a gun. So all in all, it's been a very long, very tiring, but surprisingly productive E3. I guess the way that we would cap off this third day is that the general consensus seems to be, while nobody has been completely blown away by anything and saying, oh my god, this is a game changer, everything is going to be different from now on, it actually hasn't been a particularly terrible E3 either. So all in all, I'd say the general mood at the conclusion of E3 was, this was pretty good. Not, to change your life amazing, but it was a pretty good E3, and considering how things have been for the last couple of years, I'd say that that's an improvement. So here we are, end of E3. Everybody is ready to go home, and frankly, so am I. So this is Wayne Santos, senior editor over at Comics and Gaming Magazine, signing off. Get some sleep. I know I will.